Hi, it's Kimberly from Crafty Saving Mama, and today I'm going to be going over my January 2019 budget for the month. So, what I like to do is I like to see how much money that is coming in for the month and how much money that I need to pay out in expenses. So, I like to use Excel spreadsheet. So, this is a Google Docs spreadsheet. So I like to do it this way, and I like to do it this way because it's easier for me to like manipulate numbers across it instead of having it on paper and kind of like erasing it and stuff like that. So this is why I like to use Excel. Um, I work in the finance area, so I'm really good with Excel. So I have a lot of, not a lot, but I have a lot of formulas in here and formulas to check to make sure that my amounts are balanced in my rows and columns. So that's kind of like what this little row is. So this row says should be 0 at all times. Then you know it's budgeted properly. So getting into my numbers for the month. So this month is like an unusual month. I actually have three paychecks in it. As you can see, I have three paychecks. I live in Canada, so we get a monthly benefit from the government for children. It's called a Canada Child Tax Benefit, I believe. And then also this month, we are also getting our GST credit, which is given out quarterly. So it's given out in January, April, July, and October. So the first thing I do when I'm budgeting for the month, I go through and I find out all my payday dates and what kind of money I'm getting and the amounts, and then I put them in so I have my total income for the month. And then my second step is I actually use Google Sheets to help me budget, kind of like a bill tracker, so I can access it like anywhere, my phone, my computer, my tablet, whatever. So this is my Google Calendar. This one is set up just to show my bills. So we're just going to disregard this because all this was budgeted for in December. So these are kind of like my reoccurring bills. So this is my phone bill. I have a bill due tomorrow or today, actually. So this needs to be paid. I pay childcare weekly for now. That might change. I do have some bills that are reoccurring, but the balance is a little different. One of them is actually my water bill. So my water bill is due on the first of the month, but I don't know the amount till around the end of the month. So I usually just do an estimate, and then when I get the email with the amount, then I come and I plug it in and kind of like adjust my Excel sheet as I go. So this is where I track all my major bills that I know are coming out on a specific day. Usually these are direct pulls from my bank account. So once I kind of have all these in and I know the amount for the month, then I go back into my spreadsheet here. So we're just going to go through the month's expenses. So these are my immediate expenses. So these are things that I really need to pay for in order to live. So I need to pay my rent, which is $12.15, my hydro, which is my electricity. This one is it's on an estimated payment plan a month, so it's always going to be 172 until they readjust it in the summer. My water, it fluctuates anywhere between 175, not 100, sorry, between 75 and 90. So I'm just kind of, this one is just an estimate of 80 this month. My car insurance, it's like 125.77 a month. So I budget 126. My childcare, currently I pay $100 a week or $20 a day. So this might change because we are looking into getting a new childcare provider, but for this month I'm going to leave it as is. This one, this Bell MTS, this is really high. So this one is actually 2 cell phones, home internet, and a basic cable package. It's like a bundle. Usually it's not this high. Usually it's like 270 to 300. But last month my contract was over. So I went and renewed my contract, got a new phone. I had to get a different plan. So this month my phone bill went up really high. Um, I did call about it and they were like, no, like all those charges are correct. So if my next phone bill is really high like this, then I might call them and see what I can do about it because that's really high for, you know, 4 services, like 2 cell phone bills, basic cable, and internet. So bank fees, I put them up here because they always happen. I have 2 bank accounts, so I budget 15 for each account each month. We still do have Netflix. Our children watch their tablets, they watch their phones, so they do use Netflix, so we still pay for it. So when I am budgeting, this is like my first section that I start off with, that I start putting like I have money for it. So we're gonna kind of jump down a little. And this year, my goal is to use cash envelope system for like the year. So my spreadsheet was used to look a little different. And this year I redid it for the new year because I wanted to have a cash envelope section. So this is all the items that I will use my cash envelopes for. So we're jumped down from immediate expenses down into here when I'm budgeting. So my fuel is 240 a month. I commute half an hour to work every day. Restaurants, so this is like eating fast food, getting coffee, getting drinks, stopping at a gas station, getting snacks. Like that's all that comes out of there. My groceries, my budget is 600 a month. I budget 150 a week for my family of 2 adults, one teenager, and 2 smaller children. Sometimes we have 3 because my partner's son comes 1 week out of the month. So sometimes we have 3 small children. And actually, that's a really good budget for us. I can do it on 130 a week, and we live in Canada. So, just to be comfortable, I've been having it at 150 for the last few months. So this is my son. This is his fun money. He's 5. So out of this money, he gets toys. Not all ti like, not really toys, but, if it's a little something, it comes from there. But mostly his clothing comes from here, shoes, seasonal clothes, whatever he needs comes out of there. Same with my daughter. She is not quite 2 yet. So she also gets 40 a month. So the stuff that come out of her money is like Pampers, wipes, clothes. She doesn't really play with toys yet. And then I smoke. I'm a smoker, so this is my budget for the month. Um, it's a lot, maybe. I don't know if it's a lot. I don't know how much people spend on smokes, but where I live in Canada, we have different grades of cigarettes. So the ones I smoke are like mid-level, I guess, mid-price. So if I go and buy a pack, they're they're about $16. Anyways, that's enough talking about those. So I do have some money budgeted for date night this month, for family fun, any activities we want to do. I do have a envelope for stuff I forgot to budget for. So that could be like parking or like whatever you forgot, hence the name of the envelope. This is a new one. I don't really have like a home decor budget. I've never really had one, but I'm thinking that I wanted to try to upgrade some of the furniture. Like I need new couches soon. The ones I had them for over 2 years, and we have a bunch of small kids, and they're just not fluffy anymore. So that's something I was, thinking about. And also, we need a new bed. But I was thinking of buying those box mattresses, like, if that's the new thing. So, I already have the box spring, so I'm just kinda looking for the top. So those are 2 things that I'm kinda, like, planning on getting sometime this year. And the last category, my envelope I have is gifts. So I want to keep this envelope at $40 a month. So probably like next month when I add more, like another 20, like I'll stop and then, just kind of replenish that envelope as it gets used to a maximum of 40. So then we'll go back up here. So kind of after those envelopes are filled, then I come up here. So I do have a blog. It's like pretty new. It's like in its baby stages. So I do have some subscriptions that I use for it. So I do have a subscription to Canva. With the exchange rate, it comes up to like just under 19 a month. I have Tailwind, and again, with the exchange, it comes up to just under 22. This is a fairly new one I started using. It's Focus at Will, so it plays music while you work, and it has like a timer. So I've been trying it out. I tried the 2 week free trial period. It's kind of all right. So this is going to be my my second month into trying it. So we'll see how that goes. This might go, it might stay. So this miscellaneous blog expense is pretty high this month. It's 300. So I usually don't spend this much money on my blog a month. Like it's usually just the two subscriptions, and then I just recently added this third one. But part of my blog is I need to do some updates in it this month. So I need to actually purchase some themes for my blog, and so I do have some money set aside for those changes this month that I'm going to be making to it. So this is just kind of like a one-time expense for my blog. So once we get through those ones, these are kind of like my sinking funds or savings. These kind of come last, sort of. I pay myself backwards. I know there's some teachings out there that say, pay your savings first, or 10% or 20% of your income. But I kind of live paycheck to paycheck. So I am, this is kind of like my savings comes last after my immediate expenses and after my blog, because I do hope to make some kind of profit from my blog at some point. So those are like very important to me right now in this point of my life. So this is how I budget for it. So my quality of life goals. So I have emergency fund, which my goal is to be like 15 for now. For now, my short-term goal is to have it at 1500. We did have a big vehicle expense in December, and this was not fully funded. And I thought maybe 1,000 would be a good number, but we ended up spending like over $1,200 fixing our vehicle, one of our vehicles. So I know 1,200 isn't enough for an emergency fund, so that's why my goal is 1,500 for a short-term goal. And then I also have vehicle repairs, which I'm going to be working on it, but like little, because we just did that big repair. So hopefully things don't fall apart on us too soon with it. I do have this one goal. My goal for this one is $200 by May. Yeah, the month of May. So, and then this one memorial. I'm saving money for a memorial for my brother. In April will be 1 year that he passed away, and in my culture, we do like a memorial. We feed people, we give items away. I'm Native American, by the way. So my goal for this is 500. So I need to save like 125 a month from here until April to meet my goal. My current and most important one right now is birthday parties. So um, between me and my partner, we have like one, two, three, four, five kids. Three of us live here. Three of them live here full time. One of them comes, like once, like a week a month, and then he comes all summer and stuff. And the other one lives quite far away, so her visits are quite short. So we still budget for birthday presents. We send them. We have parties, whatever. So currently, I'm saving for two birthday parties in February. So my goal is to have 550 by February for two of the parties. And then once that one is done, then I'll work on the next two parties, which there's two birthdays in May and one in June. So yeah, so I do save for those. So this one is really important that I, make this a priority in my savings, followed by these two. This one is new vehicle. Hopefully by January of next year, like in 12, 13 months or so, I hope to save up some money. My goal is $5,000 so that I can trade the current vehicle that I have in with my 500 and get a newer vehicle in cash. So that's the goal for that one. So I am already budgeting for Christmas 2019. Yes, I know it's just over. We just had it. But to have presents and stuff for my kids and the food, and we eat for Christmas and we eat for New Year's and we travel to visit family during Christmas, we need about like 12 to $1,500 for those expenses. So I kind of had it half budgeted this year, so for 2019 I really want to have it like fully funded. So that's like one of my goals. My vacation, I've never been on vacation. I've never been anywhere. So I am kind of looking to save some money to maybe go somewhere next January, February, snagging up one of those seat sale vacation type deals. So, I don't know what my goal is, but maybe like 12, 13, 14, 1500. So that's in there. This should actually be more, but I can't really budget for that much this month. So this last one, this is a loan program through my work. I had to get a loan last month for the van, and I really try to stay away from these. So these come automatically off my check. So I think I got like this one here is an old loan that I had, and this was the last payment. And if we kind of scroll over, my new loan that I got for the van starts here, and it's over 8 paydays, I believe. So this won't be done until like May, which is kind of sad, but we needed our vehicle fixed. So, so then, you know, all my budget, all my money is budgeted for the month. And then the last one I kind of budget is this one. So I kind of go through it, and then whatever is like left over from my money, it goes to my emergency fund. So I kind of just wanted to talk about my budget and how I do it. And once I get all these numbers in, usually these are all blank. And then I kind of like go through my budget, my checks, and see what I can pay from each check. And if you kind of notice too, some of these have dates beside them. So that just is telling me that, my rent is due on the 1st. My electricity, it comes out of my bank on the 15th of the month. So I need to make sure I have that money in the bank by that day. My car insurance comes out on the 20th. So I got to make sure I have money in the bank that day, and so on. So kind of like how I budget into where I'm going to pay stuff from which paycheck. Um, So I'll go through these ones, like usually rent I budget it last, because usually it comes out like a chunk of it comes out here, maybe over these two paychecks or whatever. But I kind of go through, and then I'll start with hydro. So it comes out on the 15th of the month. So this check, it's too far for it to, like, I won't have money for it. So it needs to come out on one of these two. So I ended up putting it here. So 172. And just to kind of like show you how my sheet works or whatever. So you see here how it's 172, and then this column has 172. So that tells me that I didn't, budget this money out yet. So once I pop it into this payday, 172, it should disappear to zero. So I go through, I spread my money out where I need to like pay it. See, like this bill, for example, it's due on the 5th. I think I had it on the 2nd on my calendar, but it's due on the 5th. It's 480. So when I was like going through my budget, like it has to be paid off between these two checks. And the more important bills I needed to pay, like I don't have enough to cover 480. Like, because this is an unexpected bill this month. So for now, I split it up. I'm paying 240 on the 3rd, and the other half of it is being paid on January 18th for 240.10. So hopefully I don't get dinged with like too many late fees on that one. So I work my way through, and because my spreadsheet is so long, I found myself like adding a number in, coming down here, making sure it's zero. So what I did was I actually just made this top column, and I made a formula for it to equal the total down here. So when I'm working through it, I can always see what my balance is. And then I just go through and I adjust things. So like see my emergency fund, it always seems to get the leftover money out of the month. So this one is like $4.97. This payday it'll be $1.75 opposed to, this one $3.82, and so on and so forth. And it's not till January where actually January 31st that it actually gets a huge chunk of money. So when I am budgeting across, this is kind of like the last one that gets done for money because it seems to get all the leftover money. When I'm doing my cash envelopes, money, because I live in Canada, so our smallest bill is a $5 bill. So we have a 5, a 10, a 20, a 50, and a 100. So when I'm kind of budgeting these ones, if you notice, except for this one, if you notice, they're all like in even numbers, right? So restaurants, like it's an even 100. It's not like $102. So I try to keep these ones like in the denominations of the money. And this one is 126 because I actually buy cartons of cigarettes just because they're cheaper. And it's cheaper to buy the cartons based on buying a pack of cigarettes, but to buy the carton, it's like 125 and some change. So I budget 126, but when I'm going to get the cash for it, I'm only going to keep 125 cash, and then I'll use like change from a different envelope, like it's like 40 cents or something. So yeah, when I do my envelope ones, they're based on dollar, $20, $30, $50. And then I go through and then so when I have payday, like on January 3rd, when I get paid, all I have to do is look at this one column, right? So I'm going to get paid my paycheck tomorrow. I'm going to make sure that I have 172 in my bank for hydro. That's going to come out on the 15th. I'm going to leave my childcare in the bank. I am going to send this payment because this payment I send it through my web banking. So I'm going to pay for that there. I really can't pull $4.97 out, so that's going to sit in my savings. This automatically comes off my check, but I like to keep it in here to just kind of track it. So tomorrow or the 3rd, I will go to the bank. And so I have my cash envelopes down here because I wanted to build this little uh, chart here instead of like, because I was writing it down on paper, scribbling it out, and I just love Excel and I love how fast it is. So what I did here was like, so when I get this paycheck, I know all of these are my cash envelopes. So I just went, I'm just gonna move my little self up here. Can I move myself up? So what I did was I totaled these columns up here and it comes up to $625. So I went through and I was like, okay, restaurants, these are how many 50s or 20s or whatever bills that I want for it. So I actually broke it down here. So when I go and get that money out, I know that I'm taking out 625 and then I want three $100 bills, 150, 11 20s, 5 10s, and 1 5. So it all totals up to 625. So that, I can just get the money out, come home and like restuff my envelopes. So I will have this video up, and then when I do my January 3rd cash envelope stuffing video, I will actually post that one up so you can see how I do it. And I will probably have up another video on how I make my cash envelopes because I actually have to create 3 new ones. So I'll make a video for that. So welcome to my channel. And I hope that you can learn something. I find my budgeting a little different from some of the uh, other types of budgeting people do. I know a lot of people do Dave Ramsey. I've actually read his book, and I'm not really interested in looking at debt reduction. I'm looking at more of trying to save money to kind of like break out of this paycheck to paycheck cycle. I also actually follow You Need a Budget app, which I like to use that to see my money at a glance at any given time. And so I like to use it to track. I use that one to track my spending. So that's how I kind of know all my averages. Like, this is how much I spend on cigarettes. This is how much we've been spending on groceries. This is how much we spend on fast food. So I can kind of look at those numbers and see what I need to reduce or what is, you know, we're spending a lot of money on. So I actually use that program also in addition to Excel and the cash envelope system here. And so if you'd like to follow me, you can subscribe. You can be my first subscriber. This is my first video, so I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in a few days with a new cash envelope stuffing video. So thanks everybody for watching. And if you have any budgeting tips, you can leave them down below in the comments.